All right, building a startup in 500 days, day 231. All right, we got a big update today because I feel like I haven't done one of these in like 10 days. So, right off the bat, still cranking on everything. It's actually interesting because this new build, the one that we're pretty excited about, like the fun and easy kind of be real journey, is essentially just building what I'm doing here, like the building in public, the day count, but into an app. So I've actually found myself really enjoying just documenting the whole process in that app in day to day. And so I haven't actually done these as much, um, but I do want to continue doing these. So I'm going to keep doing everything here and also with the app. Uh, that was just a little bit of an adjustment period. But for the record, when I'm looking back on this after 500 days, if the day count on the day to day app and the TikTok documentation are different in terms of the focus areas, oh well, I kind of just blew that. There's nothing I can do about it now. So, yeah, fair warning to anyone watching this and the app that those are going to be different is what it is. So, what's been going on? So, I think last documentation, we were still waiting on the BDK to finish the app. They finished the app, so the app is live. It's ready to go. There's been kind of some sagas between now and then, but moral of the story is I'll actually dive into them a little bit in detail because it's fun for the whole series. But basically, we have the beta test live right now. We have like 6 artists, I think, using the new app, and it's just I feel like things are initial traction is a lot better. Basically, everyone. I shouldn't say that. You know, I'm gonna pause and then dive into things more calculatedly. So before I get to how the beta is doing, some sagas notifications were I was struggling with a ton. Getting those to work, and it turned out because so we're still actually using both app builds. Like I'm actually using the original one as my project manager, and then this new one as just like a fun way to stay consistent, document my journey, etc. So because we're using both, it actually messed up the one signal notifications, which took me literally like 4 days to figure out. It was so frustrating. I kept thinking I figured it out, then I didn't. Basically, I needed to put 2 input fields on each user's just like database object, um, in order to account for both apps for the people who are using both apps so that they can use both and get specific notifications from each. So yeah, finally figured that out, which was hype because that took me like a week. And so now notifications are working cool. Basically, we have an afternoon one, which is kind of like the Be Real-esque thing where it's like 2 minutes left to document your journey, etc. And then a user had a great idea for also a morning motivation notification where we set live a morning notification, which is I'm actually hyped about. Basically, created a database of like 30 motivational quotes. And so in the morning, it picks one at random and then also tells the user what streak they're on, just to kind of like set up the day with some intention. And then, yeah, I feel like I haven't even talked about this on this, but yeah, we're approaching the beta a lot more structured also, where I put together like a whole spreadsheet where I can track how many records each user has been submitting, the street count, etc. And then even the communication is a lot more structured. Like it's going to be a 4-week program. I'm going to send messages in every week of updates to features and just checking in, and like I'll make sure that I do actually send those, and then I checked in with all new users like after 3 days, just checking on the experience, etc. So the whole kind of structure of how we're going about it feels a lot more calculated and more valuable. And initially the usage feels like it's a lot better than the first one. And so, maybe it's because this beta feels a little bit more structured, or maybe it's because of the actual app this time is a little bit better and more easy to use. Either way, definitely excited about it. I don't have like exact numbers that I could tell off the top of my head, but basically just like it seems like people are coming back more. And so with this one, it's just so much more simple. It's basically like the first one just completely stripped of everything except for like the consistency streaks essentially. And so you're seeing people come back. There's a public feed of what everyone did that day, like what everyone's doing to focus on towards their goals, which is actually super cool. Like I keep finding myself looking at it, and just checking what other people are doing. And from what I've heard, it's also pretty cool for other people. So like, yeah, just, I don't know, it's kind of hype. So now that we have that, basically what we need to focus on now is more user testers. So I need to step up my game on TikTok. I've still been posting like once a day, but I need to step that up. I need to start doing back to my 3. I actually think I'm going to go for like 4 or 5 because I want to do the beta test sourcing like I had been doing before, but also actually start experimenting with different kind of like branding type of content. So like us at Day to Day, we're all about kind of focusing on the long term, glamorizing the process over, you know, these highlight moments, really focusing on that day to day kind of motivation. So there's stuff I can do around, you know, motivational content, um, uh, kind of identifying how long other artists have been up to set expectations, because I feel like a lot of times artists have this, you know, because what you're getting fed on TikTok are these kind of viral moments, but you don't see all of the work put in to get there. So kind of like setting up expectations on day count of how long it's taken other artists, so that you don't feel like you're behind, or you know, that every overnight success has been like 8 years in the making kind of thing. So that kind of content too. So yeah, I have no new beta users in the queue right now, so I'm gonna post 3 today. Hopefully we'll get some more there, and just kind of keep ripping this new app. And it's like, you know, want to learn from the first one, not overbuild. So like where it is right now is pretty solid. So obviously we'll you know, take into account user feedback, etc., but not really going ham on the building. More so I think right now working on kind of getting the brand going a little bit, and getting more artists to test it out. Oh, and then one kind of complete failure we tried is that, so we wanted to kind of try just like, I don't know, just kind of shoot from the hip, different stuff to maybe generate some hype around the beta. So one of the things we thought was, oh, maybe we could do like an application for the beta, to like really focus on artists who want to be part of this and want to commit to the long term, like really want to focus on the process. So we created this application on Typeform, which is basically just like, it's kind of like the onboarding flow, honestly. It was pretty relaxed, but it was just like, you know, why do you want to do this? What do you want to do, etc. And so I sent that as an experiment to like 5 inbounds, just being like, hey, you know, thanks so much for reaching out, having your interest. Like, we really want to focus on artists who are really want to commit to the day-to-day process kind of thing before we, you know, so we're doing this application process, and none of them filled it out. Actually, I got left on red from every single person, which was wild. Which, I mean, totally makes sense. Like they don't know what that, like there's no hype around Day to Day right now. So I feel like you need that hype before you can start doing some kind of application meta or whatever. Versus every time I responded with just my normal message around like, hey, thanks so much, like what we're doing is a 4-week structured beta test, like let me know if you're interested, would love to have you a part of it. Basically 100% response rate. So that was I'm glad we tried, because it was something we thought about, but yeah, just got left on red that entire day. So not gonna do that. I'm just gonna stick with what was working. So yeah, I'm sure I'll kind of think of more things that have happened in these 10 days as we go forward, but gonna get back to posting on TikTok and IG Reels. But for anyone who's following along, things still have been cranking. I've just been documenting on the app instead. But it's kind of exciting times, not gonna lie. Like, yeah, I'm kind of hyped about this. Kind of hyped about the whole program we got going on. So we'll see. Obviously, as always, who knows what's gonna happen, but follow along the journey. I'll catch you all tomorrow.